Am I the asshole? AITA for leaving my fiancée while she was in rehab. Judgment, asshole. I was with my fiancée for 2 years, living together, and things were really great until the last few months we were together. I've never fallen so hard for someone or loved a woman this much. We clicked on every level. She started getting really depressed and sleeping a lot the last few months, and I figured it was a phase because she hated her job and had some shitty life stuff going on. Once in the last weeks, she started crying. She never ever cries, and said she wished she was dead, stressed that she didn't want to kill herself and never would, just that she wished she was dead. I hugged her and suggested going to the gym would get her out of her funk, but I didn't know how to handle it other than that, and regrettably kind of just backed away and started to distance myself. The last day I saw her, she was on the couch, kind of staring into space, and said, "If I'm not here when you get home today, it's because I left to get help. I need help." I assumed she meant for the depression or other health stuff, because she had basically stopped eating and had a lot of stomach and sleep problems, so I didn't think much of it. She would make an appointment with a doctor and be back later in the evening or whatever. 3 times over the past 6 to 8 months, she also snapped on me out of nowhere at night, said some hurtful things and told me to get the fuck out. Within minutes she would be loving again and forget she had said anything at all, and in the morning she had zero recollection of those events. She apologized profusely and told me she had taken Ambien and that it makes people say crazy aggressive things they don't really mean. But I feel like on some level she meant them, and Ambien just revealed how she really felt. Every other minute of every day, save for those 3 incidents, she was kind, supporting, loving, all around great, but those 3 times eat at me sometimes. I was not aware that she began drinking in those last months. She had never been a big drinker, she disliked bars, didn't like the taste of most alcohol. I don't know if the depression led to her drinking or drinking caused the depression or what, but it was some hardcore alcoholic behavior like buying bottles of vodka and drinking them alone at night after I went to bed. I had no idea. She's a really intelligent girl and this was some upper level evil genius type ability to hide her problem. So I come home from running errands and she is gone. No big deal, figure she'll be back in a few hours. It turns to night and I begin to worry. I start looking through the house to see if she packed an overnight bag, and that's when I find an empty bottle of vodka in one of her drawers and an empty Smirnoff Ice, lol, bottle under the bed. I am fucking pissed, because I know she's not a big drinker, so she must have had people over and drank with them. I assume a guy, one of her male friends, is an alcoholic, and I've always been suspicious of him. Not for any real reason, I just thought of him first and got angry and started packing a bag for me to leave, but decided to stay the night in our house after all. The next morning I get a call from a rehab centre saying that my girlfriend checked herself in the previous afternoon and they took her cell phone. She was so bad off they brought her to the nearest hospital to detox because they were worried about seizures, blah blah blah. She is going back to the rehab centre after that for a 30-day treatment and she will call me when she's physically able, but that she wants me to know she loves me and is so sorry and realised she had a problem and needed to leave right then to get help before she changed her mind. Whatever. So I am fucking floored. But some of the stuff from the last few months makes sense now, and at least I know she wasn't fucking around on me. She's just a closet alcoholic. Just. It is such a huge betrayal of trust that I snap and make plans to move out. Get an apartment across town, move out, refuse all her calls from rehab. I'm fucking done with her. Let her come home to an empty house and see how it feels. Then I start to regret my decision, because who leaves the love of their life while they're in rehab, when they recognise they had a problem and got help? I can't break my new lease. Well, maybe I could have, but I didn't want to, still angry and confused. But I decide to visit her a few days before she gets out of rehab, to tell her I had broken up with her and moved out, because letting her come home to an empty house with no warning was a dick move. She cried a ton and explained what led her to where she was, asked to work on things, etc. Which I considered because I really love this girl and, to be honest, I'm still considering it 4 months later. But I've only seen her in person a few times since then. 2-hour-long talks twice and once we just hung out, and have kind of cut contact save for cordial texts. She's doing well and staying sober. She's always been pretty strong and independent, and I honestly believe the alcohol thing was a fluke tied to depression, and she will be okay on the not drinking thing in the future. But she lost her job and can't afford the old house on her own, so she's now unemployed and broke. Rehab is expensive, yo. I feel badly about not being there for her in all of this and might want her back one day, but the trust is just destroyed. And I feel so guilty about leaving her while she was in rehab and after she got out, instead of being supportive, but for fuck's sake, I would have been all that if she told me she had a problem, instead of simply disappearing one day. Just need some opinions on whether I'm the asshole here or nah. Too long didn't read. Fiancee, whom I love, had a closet drinking problem and checked herself into rehab. I break up with her and move out before she gets home, and I have pretty much abandoned her since then. Am I scum?